right, it's week number 4. As you can see, it's super cold down here. I had to put on I should have brought my hoodie today. Y'all can see they got a tent right across the street. I don't know if y'all can see that. They got a tent right across the street. That's what Minneapolis has come to so far. This dude got shorts on. Man, Minneapolis, I'll tell you, it's changed. And I'm gonna pan around so y'all can get a little view of everything. But it's, I'll load this in a minute. So I gotta go into my little, you never know if these places are recorded, so I'm gonna speak in code. Something that happened that was very interesting. One of the guys, let's wait till he moves around so people don't be in my business. So I come in in the morning, do my thing, check my emails. I see a lady responded to an email for a task that we were supposed to complete. Now, I'm really gonna break this one down. And this is why I really had to have a section in one of the chapters about codification at work and how you deal with questions and answers, especially when you're in the lion's den, the corporate workplace. So I get an email for some work. We're both copied on the work. And I responded like, okay, well, I could go ahead and schedule and do the thing. Now, it was someone else's ticket, granted. Maybe I should have kind of thought about that. I already had something scheduled maybe a half hour later, but I had already prepped all the assets. So I go ahead and schedule it. I thought I was doing them a solid. You see what I'm saying? I thought I was just doing somebody a solid because they were overworked or whatnot. This guy says, well, why would you do that in a condescending kind of tone? Didn't really give me the chance to respond. And it said something about me needing to be respectful. Didn't look me in the face or nothing, and storms off. Starts fiddling with boxes and stuff like that. You got one time to show me who you is. So I said I wasn't given the chance to respond. Pinged him. I wasn't given the chance to respond. I thought I was helping out. My apologies for overstepping my boundaries. I'll never do it again. So now what we're going to have is every time that something needs to be done, I'm not volunteering with anything. I need to know specifically what needs to be done. And that's why I wrote that whole chapter. And a lot of that stuff worked for me. So for the young brothers and sisters, when you run into that somebody, whatever they're dealing with, that's something else. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And I won't get into that right now. I'll break it down further in a live or whatnot. Because I got to keep it 100. But I said, okay, this is going to be a problem. So he was asking people about other things just a few minutes ago. And then, he never responded to my apology in the chat, which I really don't have nothing to apologize about. So, I gotta document this. So it's other things that's going on. Well, I'm swamped. I'm doing you a solid. But when you're saying something to somebody and, if you make a mistake or whatever, you could pull that person to the side. There was other people that was around. Don't play with me like that. Don't ever play with me like that. Try to chastise me and then walk away. And you're going to try to chalk that up to personal issues you have at home. Don't ever play with me like that. I'm not, I don't know what you think I am. I'm not, no. So I try to take an approach where I said, okay, well, if I'm overstepping my boundaries, then you let that be known. You don't just storm off like a 2-year-old because you have personal issues outside of the workplace and then tell me something about respect. No, we're not gonna play that game. So, I'm being mindful because these places could, for all I know, could be recorded. But the thing is, I gotta protect myself, because if I were to do something like that, I'd be gone. You see what I'm saying? And if I would have checked them right in front of everybody, then now I'm the bad guy. You see what I'm saying? So that's these left bird environments, on site, in the lion's den, in corporate. That's these environments, these so-called DEI, so-called inclusive environments. I've been telling y'all. There's law upon law, ethics and policies and law and order, and then you get this going on. But I had to record this. I had to. I have to protect myself. So still, not a word. It's been 3-4 hours, almost. It's been almost 3 hours. It hasn't said anything to me, as if I did something to you personally. So now, I'm going to be the bad guy because I shut down. You have one time to play with me. Once. You have one time to pull that on me. Just one time. That's how I am. I give everybody, benefit of doubt, maybe a shadow. Probably shouldn't do that. I knew who this was when I met them. I knew they were like that. I knew it. But I said, well, that doesn't, what I personally think, that don't matter. I'm here to do what I do and move around. So now we're not going to play this buddy game. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to do what I do and not say much of nothing. That's how we're going to have to play this. And it makes it an uncomfortable environment because you're openly hostile. And the thing is, well, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say till later, but yeah, you're not going to get hostile with me and think that now we just get back to where we were at. No, we don't do that. That ain't happening. No. So, and I'm not going to be hostile. I just know what it is. I just know what it is. So, when y'all get in those environments, the first thing you ask questions. You ask for clarity, because I still have yet to get any clarity. There has been no clarity. I'm doing something that I'm assigned to do. Okay, maybe I stepped a foot above, but it still got done. And you still have not said anything. Not yet. They ain't said a word yet. So I said, okay, you have a problem. This doesn't have nothing to do with me, but you have a serious problem. You have something else going on. But I ain't no punching bag. I'm not no punching bag. So I'll give y'all a detailed analysis on what really occurred, outside, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but this is why a lot of people don't like being on site. They like being at home, so you could avoid all this garbage. That's why people do it. That's one of the reasons. So I understand how people feel about going back in and dealing with it, because this is what you're subjected to. You see, so it's all good, man. We gonna get it together. I'm gonna get my bag. Part of my journal. We back at it. I'm gonna go get some lunch. It's windy out here. Feels good. But yeah, when we really look at these things, we gotta kind of look at these environments from a different place. Doing these little journals, it kind of helps me kind of remember on how I used to deal with things and stuff. But, we don't have the luxury to take things out on each other. Brothers and sisters, we don't have the luxury to go to work and do that. We can't get away with it. Yeah, we don't have the luxury to be able to jump up and act a fool whenever things ain't working well at work. It's windy as hell. but I still gotta look at you a little different. I still know who you are, you know. I still know who you is, because it's one of them kind of things where, like I say, I can't pull that. Let me tell y'all a quick story. And if he comes back, apologize, I'm gonna tell him the same thing. When my mom passed, you know what the project manager told me? Derek, bury her and get back to work. Your parents ain't gonna live forever. Now, I was kind of lightweight offended when he said that, because I was still grieving. But at the same time, you know, I thought about it for a minute, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't have no bereavement time. I need to go to the dentist. Yeah, I ain't perfect. I need to go to the dentist. Again, too much coffee. That coffee messes with your teeth. You looking like a sailor after a while. I didn't have time to grieve and sit in the crib and stuff like that. I had to kind of get to it. I was a contractor. There's no bereavement time. I had to bury her and get back to work. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these folks, they could pull little temper tantrums and stomp around at work and don't nothing happen to them. And if I say something crazy, like you be damn near ready to hop over the table or something like that, we going to jail. Or, you know, you at least losing your job. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really do that. So we don't really have no discourse. We have to kind of internalize it. So what I'm saying is you pick your battles and ask questions. I still ain't got a response. He's probably having a bad day or whatever the case may be. Okay, cool. I know that I'm just going to focus on straight when I'm assigned. No extra volunteering or none of that. No above and beyond. And a brother kind of told me that early on. So take heed. What's up, everybody? Back at it. Hoping that the mic sounds nice and clear. It sounds good. I really like this podcast thing. I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Adventures of DP. This is actually, to be honest with you, it's therapeutic. It's really, really therapeutic because I can actually talk about highs, lows, career points. I don't have to hide any vulnerabilities about my career and just being a black man in America in the corporate or the nonprofit sector, whatever case it may be. And I could do it right from the crib. Now, eventually, this is going to evolve. But like I say, I'm just getting started when it comes to just dealing with video and being on camera. I come from a world where we were never on camera like that. I'm not saying I was Frank Lucas. I'm just saying that, you know, I didn't take a lot of pictures. And there was various reasons as to why. And I'll get into that at some point. But we didn't really take a lot of pictures. Like, I talk to my friends all the time, and like I was talking to one of my homies, he was like, man, I remember my mom passed, and he was at the service, and he was like, DP, we ain't got no pictures together. We didn't do that. We didn't take pictures. It wasn't like one of these, well, man, let me get a selfie or whatever. Like we never really did that, you know. And I think that is important, that you want to have those memories. Me, I'm a memory person. So I you know, when my son was born, I took a lot of pictures of my son, like an astronomical, ridiculous amount, because, you know, because I want to capture every moment. But we lived in a moment when we were coming up. You know, we didn't take a lot of pictures. Anyway, I want to talk about the left and right wing of RWS. And if y'all know about Cress Welding and Neely Fuller, I don't even got to say what that is. I ain't even got to say what that is. So, with their genius, you know what RWS is. So, to my listeners, you know, rest in power to Neely Fuller and Cress Welding. Fuller just passed. So, this would have never been possible without Cress Welding and Neely Fuller and Ida B. Wells and the lady that, Miss Washington, that wrote Medical Apartheid. This wouldn't have been possible. I mean, it could have been, but I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna say, well, you know, I just did it all, you know. So this is kind of an analysis of you know, earlier today, where I said I stepped into my little duck off spot and talked about the encounter, and just referring back to I just thought about my books. I thought about the stuff that I wrote and the things that I said, and I said, you got to stay in the question mode. Stay away from a lot of statements. That stuff really truly works. I tried not to get overly rambunctious and you know emotional about it, but it pissed me off a little bit because I don't like getting played like that. I don't like nobody to play with me like that. Because number one, I'm grown, and number two, it's unnecessary. So basically, and when you see the video, you'll see. So you're gonna watch the video first. I'll edit all that out, but I'm just getting it together and stuff like that. So that's the beauty of having this podcast thing. Shout out to Simba Ali, man, for showing me this. I would have found it, another time. But just, man, this machine, this Rode mic and this Rode machine is incredible. I wish I would have did this a long time ago. Man, I wish I would have did this a long time ago. So anyway, this is the breakdown of what really occurred. So come in, doing my work. Now you think that most people that would do your work for you, they ain't gonna have no problem with it. We're assigned certain tickets. Basically, I did his ticket. I scheduled it right before my deployment of the machine. He comes in, well, why would you do that? He said it kind of like that. Because I told him, I said, hey man, I scheduled him back to back. Like, I got you, kind of like that. Why would you do that? There needs to be something about respect, or I'll do my own task or something like that. And I'm kind of like, okay. So I said, oh. And he didn't really give me much time to respond. He kind of gets stormed off and started playing with some boxes. I could kind of tell the area, it was hostile. Now, for y'all don't know, this was a public forum now you're talking about. This is something that when you're talking amongst your coworkers. I'm new. I'm a contractor. But he had some problems at the crib. So I was the first person that did something he didn't like to be able to say, well, I didn't like what you did. Instead of pulling me to the side, and he did this in front of everybody. Why would you do that? He said it in the tone seemed a little worse than that. And I didn't really have much time to respond. And he said something about respect or whatever, and then he kind of stormed off or whatever like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, if he would have caught me and pulled that in 2015, late 2014, it would have went left. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. The mindset I was in, and there's a lot of wind in that one video. I'm gonna throw it in there anyway, and maybe I might talk over it or something like that, and just kind of overdub it and be like, "Hey man, the wind's messed up." So when y'all hear it, the wind is gonna be messed up. It's gonna be janky. So I'm gonna kind of edit it a little bit, but the wind is real janky. So that was the next part when I was kind of coming out. Things had cooler heads prevailed. But when I first went in there, I'm kind of like, don't chastise me and talk to me like I'm your 2-year-old or whatever the case may be, and that's why I say I stay in the question mode. So when I send a ping, I'm like, hey, look, I'm trying to, because the bottom line is you was griping about you ain't got time for this and that, and I ain't got me time and all this kind of stuff and all this. I know it's something that doesn't have to do with work on top of other things. So it's a combination of stuff like that. So I'm overhearing all these kind of conversations about like it's infidelities or it's something going on at the crib. And it's a lot more than that I heard, but I ain't gonna put it out there. I'm gonna let y'all fill in. But basically, bro, he's feeling played. He's feeling hella played. So you come to take it out on me at the very first start of the morning. What I didn't like about it was this main thing. I'm overhearing all these things about oh, the bad guys in office and all this kind of stuff and all the bad. No, y'all the bad guy. I told y'all this shit about this damn DEI BS. I told y'all about this. That's why I'm saying left and right wing. These white liberals is a trip. They got tons and tons of rules, but when they get in front of Negroes, they're doing all kind of stuff that we can't afford to do. I can't afford to. I could have japped out and said, "Hey, listen, man, look, let me holler at you real quick." This would have been considered offensive on their end, and this to me wouldn't have been unprofessional. So let me talk to you for a minute, man. Let's go talk, man. Hey, man, what's going on, man? I mean, I know what's going on. I hear things. I know. What's going on? I said, because I know that wasn't about me. What's going on? Because you have the luxury to just say, I don't even like you saying this to me right now, and then I'm out of here. And you get to go on with your married life. But you're in the WebEx talking about your livelihood and stuff like that. I get it. You have issues at the crib. This ain't in the workplace. And if I would have just said that as a black American, just saying that, and I got to say it from the perspective of the freedman, got to, because when we don't accept certain things in the job, they get rid of us quick. If you ain't open to tap dancing, or if you just let it completely slide off your back, we don't have the ability just for me to say what I'm saying to you right now and typically get away with it under the DEI, the diversity and inclusion. It's so diverse and we include everybody to the point where a nigga can't say, hey, look, man, let me holler at you real quick. What's going on? I said, because you say you don't have time, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I shouldn't have probably took the ticket, but the way you went going about it, and that's why Fuller and them talked about the due process, the Fifth Amendment. You can fire me, but the way you go about doing it, that's what the Fifth Amendment is supposed to protect. That's equal protection of law. That's due process. Yeah, you did something, DP. You're out of here. Okay, what'd I do? Didn't do nothing. No, it don't work like that. That's unconstitutional. So that's what we're bringing in. I'm bringing in straight codification. I say, look, my apology for overstepping my boundaries, but I didn't get the chance to even respond to tell you why I did it, why I took the ticket. I seen an email, I acted on it. Maybe I shouldn't have did that. I just bought you some more time, but you didn't like that I took your task or took your ticket. So you take the first thing, the first person you see, because you couldn't do it to the other people because they're permanent. So you pick me. That's why I say that DEI garbage, you saying DEI is supposed to protect the nigga? Just me saying, hey man, let me holler at you real quick. What's going on, brother? You all right? I know it's not all right. I know you have some serious things going on and you bringing it to work. But one little ticket, you could have been like, hey, look, man, don't take the tickets. I'll give you the tickets. So now that I see who you is, I'm going to get real codified now. We not going to be how we used to be, where I'm opening up conversations, he, ha, ha, and Xbox One and all. No. I'm going to talk about what y'all talking about just enough to get by. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to go to the bar. I don't want to do none of that. I simply don't. Because, again, you have the luxury to be able to stomp your feet around like a toddler at work and still get away with it. You've been there longer and you white and you're a white liberal. You can get away with that. I can't. That's why when the statement was made, I said, oh, okay. And I didn't say nothing else. And it got real quiet. Nobody else didn't say anything else because they know that he's going through something or whatever, but they still gonna back them. I don't trust him either. All it would have took is for me to say something, out of the box or whatever the case may be. And that's why I say the quote unquote diversity thing, not only is it unconstitutional, it double violates our rights because you're putting everybody else in front of us under the guise that I'm good. No, when I go into that office, I'm not going to get equal protection of the law because you can do something like that and I don't get no get back. I can't risk saying something crazy to you, or not even crazy, just addressing the situation and saying, hey man, what's going on? You know, I was trying to save you a little bit of time. He could just jump back and say, well, I didn't tell you to do this and I didn't. Now you get to talk to me like Django Unchained, and that might fuse me up a little bit more. Like, hold on, wait a minute. You can't talk to me like that, and I'm out of there. The very fact that I can't even say that, that tells you about that DEI bullshit. Ain't no protection under that. I don't want to hear no black person talking about no DEI. You a stupid ass nigga. I get the hiring. I understand. I know what it was for. I know it was supposed to be for us. The 14th Amendment was supposed to protect us. I know affirmative action was only supposed to be for us. I know that. That's what we fought for, right? But when you start throwing all that stuff around and talking about inclusion and all this kind of stuff, what you're doing is you diverting the justice elsewhere and you're not including me. So now, hours later, you still ain't responded to my apology. And everything's hunky-dory. Hey, what's for lunch, man? The other guys ask for what's for lunch. I don't say nothing. He talking to them. He knows it's kind of weird because I haven't said nothing. Once I find out who you are and you pull something, you got one time with me. I'm telling you, anybody that knows me, you got once. One time. And after that, I know who you is. I'm going to deal with you completely different. That's it. That's it. You know, so that's when we talk about the left and right wing bird, these liberal corporate environments, I'm going to tell you a quick little story because this is going to have to be a story in itself. I talked to my dad, and I might put that clip in here. I might have to put that clip in here. Maybe, or do the part 2. I might have to do that. It's going to take longer to edit, but I might seriously have to do that. Or what I might be able to do is just, I might be able to just play it through Spotify. Maybe I might do that. Depending on how I'm feeling. I might just play it. So, my pops told me there's more law and order in the North, but there's more racism in the North than the South. And he said, most black folks don't know this. I was bedazzled. What? Klan running around, all this kind of stuff. I had that dumb nigga concept. Because we up north, everything's just fine. There's more sundown towns in the North. Why? See, we think that because we're in a geographical area that it changes. RWS don't change. At all. It don't change nowhere on the planet for black folk. We're the measuring index for it. It doesn't change. Oh, you Negroes want to lead the South? Oh, you coming up here for better jobs? Hey, guess what? Sundown. We don't want you here. Now there's more law and order. Lots of laws. But we can still undermine you. Hey, you over there. Pick up that broom. Well, sir, I'm a doctor. I'm not a janitor. Pick up that broom. Those kind of games. So we got to we have to look at this in a certain perspective and say, well, you know, so now this is a liberal POC BIPOC environment, right? Right? Nobody called me a name. Right? So I can't say there's no racism, right? No one called me a name. So I can't say that, right? I can't use that one. But as I told you before, like when I was talking about that chapter on how I was using the codification, I said, okay, questions and answer. Was anybody mistreated? I had a manager. I worked downtown, another financial company. The manager was playing games. I gave the whole story. I ain't even gonna talk about it right now, but I gave the whole story. And that's why I brought up the counter racism codes for asking questions, trying to use due process, equal protection of the law, and all of that. So you can kind of be protected to the best of your ability. You don't have to necessarily say the statutes, but you're asking questions if it gets to that. And it's worked. I didn't have to go that far, but as I'm going to do another live or a recording where I'm going to be breaking it down where this brother actually using, he did IT just like us. I'm not making this shit up. You see what I'm saying? So he was saying the North has more law and order than the South, but you have more race soldiers in the North than the South necessarily, because the race soldiers in the South is going to let it be known what it is. Hey, look, nigga, I don't like you. You can deal with the wolf meeting him right at his teeth. That's a fair war. I didn't say it was right. That's a fair war. You can't do that in the liberal environment. You can't do that when you're at the DEI place and everybody, black folks and Cardi B and hey, and all this, you can't really do that with them, because they could do stuff to undermine you like they did at the other position I was at. They don't train him, make him beg for all that kind of garbage. That never happened to me before that. And going back a little bit, I was doing Citrix administration, mainly managed service company, pretty much all conservative Republicans. Up front, everything. Ain't nothing politically correct. Nothing. I thought I was dealing with a real live race soldier. And he had some things that he done and said. I thought I was doing myself the benefit of the doubt. Let me get up out of here. Let me go to the big place. He told me, never forget this, big companies ain't gonna treat you no better. He didn't know I was leaving, but the big companies ain't gonna treat you no better. And they will undermine you even more. Now keep in mind, he was undermining me to a certain degree, to the point where another dude that was a senior Citrix engineer was like, hey man, that man's undermining you. He don't want to give you IP addresses and stuff like that. But I'll call him Soldier Bob. Soldier Bob was right. When I went downtown after that position, I said, man, I should have stayed. Because these folks that were so law and order and liberal, they had lots of laws. Oh, laws, DEI, LGBT, Black Commission, this, that, and the third. But them folks literally were telling people, do not train him. Because I guess I wasn't talkative enough. I had the highest numbers. I was training people in India. There were certain things where they literally told, it was this Indian coon, this dude from India, H-1B visa. Shout out to Elon. Brought him over here, do TCS. I ain't gonna say the company. Maybe I will in the future. They get me pissed off or not enough. What they did is they told him, the lead said, do not train there. And dude came and told me this. I'm told not to train you. Now he's getting ready to leave in about a month or two. His contract's ending. He's got to go to another site. But you're the trainer. You're the person that's supposed to be giving me the rope so I could take over the thin clients. I was supposed to be doing Citrix and stuff. It was just like an extreme advanced desktop support position. I probably could have stayed a little longer, but the lead and my supervisor was purposely undermining me. When I finally went to HR, when I got up out of there, and I broke down the whole, there's screenshots of my book and everything. I broke down the whole thing. And HR was on my side, and they said, we don't co-sign this. It was unconstitutional. If we want to look under the, they weren't doing right. What they were doing was illegal. They were undermining me. So it's called subversion. They were undermining me purposely. Well, let him struggle a little bit. Don't train them. That's not how you do people. You don't withhold information. It's a financial company. You give people the information they need so they can do their job. And I was still doing better than a lot of other people. And they were like, man, how does he do it? Because see, they wanted me, hey, let's go to the bar. Let's talk. Let's do all that. The dude said something to me, same thing. He said something out of pocket to me. I can't remember what it was. But he said something to me that had rubbed me the wrong way. And it rubbed me really wrong. And I just kind of shut down. I got quiet because that's been, like the fight or flight. Yeah, I've been like that as a kid. When I used to be a teenager, and when I was young, you know, of course I wasn't as polished as I am now. Still working on it. But when I was young, very, very young, teenager, if I know it's about to, if it's going up, I don't say anything. Soon as I know that there's physical harm coming to me, I don't say nothing else. I don't keep doing the back and back. You know, it might be a conversation. It might be and soon as I get when you feel that little thing in your throat, like, oh, it's up. There's no turning back. We going up, and we get it on. I shut down real fast. You know, I shut down real fast. Once I see that this issue is starting to get to a certain point, we ain't got anything to discuss. Now, this is the workplace, so you're not going Mayweather nobody. Okay, we're not gonna be stupid. Now, once I seen that was the approach, you say something and then you just run off and kick a can or whatever you do because you're upset with everything else. You're already angry about what's going on at the crib. So you figure, well, I'm the first person you're going to take it out on. I'm not going to say nothing else to you. And he probably knew, like, well, maybe I shouldn't have did that. But then DP was wrong because he took the ticket and did the job. But he wasn't really that wrong. He still knew. So it's going to be kind of weird me coming back and saying something to him and apologizing. So he didn't respond to the ping at all. And I took that as disrespect because you felt comfortable enough to where you were just going to say that, and then you get to move on, and then it's hours later. So now I know we have a communication problem. We have a communication problem, as the brother said in the due process video. I want to play the whole thing. I really want to just play it and just upload it. But I want to kind of critique it a little bit, or not critique it. I just want to comment on it as we go along. And that's going to be part of the story times too, or not the story time, but you know, the analysis, the DP analysis. That's another one of my playlists. Cause I got the Adventures of DP. I got something new for y'all too. This is new. Now this is going to be the cover. What you see the left wing holding the carrot. The carrot's behind his back. Then you got the right wing. They got that clan sheet on. But this is going to be a new series for us, where I give our folks from this land, and I'll show love to other people as well, the foundational freedmen. A lot of people have an issue with the term foundational. We were the founders of this country. We founded this country. Everything that's great about this country is because of us. Music, food, everything. Civil Rights Act, that was done by our ancestors, and we should be proud about that. And I don't think we've been proud enough. We're finally starting to get that going. Foundational freedmen. Some people have an issue with the flag. They ain't trying to lead this bitch. They ain't trying to get up out of here. They talk that stuff if they want to. They ain't trying to get up out of here. They ain't trying to get up out of here. Ain't nobody trying to leave. They say that. They ain't trying to get up out of here. You got everybody in the world want to come over here. And I ain't saying it's perfect, but you know, I get started. I see it again. I do things purposely. I got the black family. It's AI, yeah. You know, foundational freedmen. We're freedmen. That's the term we use. Foundational is just another word. But we are the founders. Crispus addicts. And we go on for days. So that's going to be something that I want to talk about black inventors. Because our children need to know this. People say, well, you know, they're taking the schools and they doing this and they doing that. Okay, well, guess what, man? It's our job to teach our children history. And we also teach them history about the entire diaspora. Yeah, we teach them everything. You know, I used to be proud of hearing stories about Shaka Zulu. I was proud when I watched Roots, seeing O.J. Simpson. You see what I'm saying? And seeing Fiddler. and LeVar Burton from Reading Rainbow. I was proud to see that, even though that they were slaves. Well, OJ wasn't a slave in there, but it was fictional. But I was proud to see that when I was a kid. They used to be kids in our class cracking jokes. You see what I'm saying? And what's crazy it is, and we kids, we don't really know, but half these folks that ain't from here, the reason why you here is because of folks like those are the people. Chicken George and all those, they're fictional characters, but I'm just saying that these are the ancestors. These are the people that put in the work, so your ass could leave where you're from and come over here and enjoy the fruits and benefits of the work that our folks put in. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to highlight that. It's important especially on a national scale. We have hundreds and hundreds of years of local history right here, but also world history. We need to learn about all the riders and the revolutionaries from Africa, Papua New Guinea, everywhere. So, but I want to focus specifically here because, it's so many inventors, man. There's a brother from that founded Thermo King. Because McKinley Jones, Frederick McKinley, or I think that's his name. He's from Minnesota, or he's by way of Minnesota. He made his bones here. I want to do a story time on him. The foundational freedman, research playlist or something like that. Like it's gonna, I got Ida B. Wells in there, and I think I got one more person. And then like there was this one dude, one of the brothers that they said made the internet, Nigerian dude. He's not a freedman, but he's a black man that they say created the internet, or he did a lot. He was super smart. You know what I'm saying? I got him on the Being Black and IT. So we're not going to leave nobody out. Anybody that's a black person, especially if they was a black person that was super solid. You know what I'm saying? We can't not, we have to have all the contributors, But yeah, so that left wing, those so-called liberal environments where there's so many rules and so much laws and so many ethics and stuff like that, those are the main ones undermining you. And they'll talk and they'll tell you, well, the bad guys won. No, you're the bad guy. You just don't act like you is. Y'all the worst ones. Malcolm X wasn't lying. Malcolm was dead serious. He said that for a reason. He said you got to watch these white liberals for a reason, because they can't be trusted, and other ones can't either. But the bottom line is, like I say, if I can meet the wolf at his teeth, I want to give an analogy, man. One of my favorite movies, Lord Impaler. Lord Impaler. As kids, we thought about Count Dracula just being the vampire and the bat and all that. Man, no, that's Lord Impaler, man. Lord Impaler was putting that belt. Lord Impaler was putting that belt down, as the Chicago brothers say. He putting the belt down. He was, man, he was impaling people. I remember my homie Titan told me, he said, man, you know about Vlad the Impaler? Like, oh, not really. He said, bro, look that dude up. Titan had me. I said, damn. I said, so this was Count Dracula. This dude, man. I said, what did they do to him? Man, Lord Impaler. So, Dracula Untold is always one of my all-time favorites. My mom used to like a lot of the scary movies and stuff like that. I wish, she would have been alive. I think it came out when she passed. I can't remember, but if she would have seen that and kind of been in in a space to see it, like if she was able to watch scary stuff, but she wasn't, she was sick. But a couple years ago, 4-5 years ago or something, she would have seen Dracula Untold and would have been like, man. Dracula, the point is, the analogy is, he met the wolf at his teeth. When he went inside of that cave, and Lord Tywin, I can't remember his name, but Lord Tywin, you know what I'm saying? Tywin Lannister. Y'all know his name. Y'all could, he's in a lot of great movies, you know what I'm saying? He's good. He's dope. He's one of my favorite UK guys or whatever.
Tywin Lannister, when he was like the Dracula, he came in, and y'all probably already seen Dracula Untold. You need to watch that a good 3-4 times to really appreciate it. There was a lot of different things they could have did, and they should have made a part 2. I just don't think they wanted to go along with it. But man, just the ambiance, and just, I don't even know what to say. Like, it was. He went in, man, that cave, and he met that wolf at his teeth. He knew he was dealing with the wolf, so he knew how to deal with the wolf, and the wolf knew how to deal with him. He's like, I don't want to give it to y'all, but man, I kind of want to. He said, most people don't come up here unless they're desperate, because you know, when you come to this cave, that belt's coming out. You ain't gonna make it. So that made him even more curious. He's like, I know his wheels was thinking. His wheels was like, okay, if you came here for the belt, something's wrong with you, or, you know, your desperation is, I gotta know why you here. Dracula was like, I gotta know why you here, because don't nobody come here with the intention by theyself. Most time when they came up there, they come up with a team, and you know, vampire, he stretches their ass. You know what I'm saying? Y'all getting the belt, and they ain't gonna see you again. That's a wrap. I don't care how many people you bring up in them caves. It's a wrap. You ain't getting away. But he's like, okay, this dude, he's not afraid of me, and he got a graveyard under his belt himself. So I really want to see why he's doing this. He met the wolf at his teeth. It's easier to meet the wolf at his teeth. But if you got a slimy ass boa constrictor, and he's yeah, you know, I'm a DEI, you know, hey Jerome, DEI, yeah, we're gonna, yeah, you know, black and BIPOC, and he gets, you know, and then you turn around and DEI Bob is venomous all your neck. You like, damn, I ain't see that coming. I thought he was my friend. That's the difference in these environments, what I'm trying to tell y'all, black folks. When you go into some of these environments, understand, DEI Bob is much, much more vicious than upfront Lord Impaler Bob. He's 10 times more vicious. I didn't say he was more trustworthy. I didn't say that, you know, right bird Bob. I didn't say that he's your friend. But I will tell you, in the position that I had before I went back downtown, not this one, there was some impeding. The guy was avoiding, you know, putting in, you know, giving me the IP address and stuff like that. But there was people there that would show me the ropes. Here's the mistake that I made. And I didn't put that in the book. I might have. Here's the mistake that I made. I wasn't thinking long term. I got emotional. I felt played. I felt like I could get a couple bucks more, which when I went to that new place, I should have told them to give me way more. I should have turned it down, because there was another place that had wanted somebody, but I didn't feel like I just didn't feel like I had the skill set, and they was trying to pay me like 90 out the gate, but I wasn't confident enough. Should have stayed and learned the game. You're going to get bit by either bird. So the idea that the grass is always greener, that's a misnomer. You don't know that environment when you go into it. You're blind, because what they give you on the interview, that's skin deep. What you get on the interview is not what you gonna get once you get in there. They gonna give you the song and dance, whatever the case may be. It's like if you go on a date, most of the time when you meeting this person, you're meeting them at what they call face value. You're not me. You get around them for a couple years, you live with them. You see what I'm saying? Then you look up and be like, damn. And you do it too. You do it too. You do it too. When you meet her, you be on your best behavior. You be on your best behavior. And then after, you've accomplished your goal or whatever the case may be, or you kind of been around or whatever, you start slacking a little bit. I got her. I ain't got to do, And she's like, well, I wanted more. I wanted this or whatever. You're like, well, you bought me at the price you bought me. You bought her at the price you bought her. Don't nobody feel like they got to do more than what you got them at. This is the price. The price is this. The price is $100. I ain't got to do no more. That's the attitude that people have. The mask comes off now. You're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That's human nature. So the mistake I made, and I'm telling the young brothers and sisters too. I'm telling the young brothers and sisters, and I'm not old, but I'm just saying, but just fresh in the game. I'm talking to the young DP that's fresh off the block, fresh out of college, fresh out, you know what I'm saying? Master your craft and then go. It takes a long time to learn Citrix administration. That's a thing of the past now. Now you want Kubernetes and Azure and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do a Kubernetes story, not a story time. Well, it could be a story time. I got a whole chapter in my book about Kubernetes, Docker, containerization technologies. Learn your craft, perfect and master your craft. Be portable. You see, you could go anywhere with this. You go anywhere in the world with this. You don't just stay in Minnesota. You don't just stay in Cali. You just don't stay in Carolina, Mississippi. You can go anywhere with this skill set. That's how you have to make and envision yourself. Your skill set can pick up and leave and be planted somewhere else where you go right into it. That's the mistake I made with that situation. I said, well, this race soldier is intolerable. Let me go over here to Law and Order, DEI, corporate. And what happened? Much, much, much worse. More laws, but much, much, much worse. The system was bigger. They have a long list of rules and ethics, morals. Oh, let's be so moral. Oh, we got so many morals and laws and policies and HR. And undermine me right in front of them damn laws. The last place with the conservatives and the rednecks didn't have no laws. I never even seen an employee handbook. Everything is free at the moment. You see what I'm saying? But I don't have multiple 3-4 people different undermining me. I had somebody that was the owner of the company that was like, hey, look, leave him alone. But by that time, I'm already, I'm feeling so played. And instead of just saying, you know what, I'm gonna just lay back. Play myself. End of the story time, y'all. So y'all got to hear what really happened. But yeah, that's what happened at that position, and that's what I just seen just the other day, far as how they get down. You got the left wing and you got the right wing of RWS. Rest in power to Neely, Fuller, and Crest Welding. Y'all should know what RWS is. I'm not gonna tell you. Y'all should know. Y'all listen to me. You ain't going over to Henry Louis Gates and Roland and them. You came here. Yeah, you ain't come for the bootleg niggas. You came over here. So yeah, you should know what that means. All right, y'all. We're gonna do another story time. This one's gonna be this story time. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go into the dark side a little bit. Yeah, I hope y'all enjoying these, man, because I'm having fun. We gonna go into story time in Egan. This was around when I had the shot. I was having my way. I'm telling you, I was having fun. I was having fun. You know what I'm saying? I was getting money too. I was getting a couple dollars for young nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Young nigga not selling no crack. We getting a couple dollars. All right.